the infamous world border of 2b2t, 30 million blocks out in the overworld. Very few have ever had the opportunity to actually see it in person. Ever since I heard about Burnsy and his journey to get to the overworld border on 2b2t, I thought it was a really neat idea. Never in Minecraft history has someone legitimately mined a tunnel 3.75 million blocks long in the Nether to get to the overworld border. The accomplishment by Burnsy and the diggers was nothing short of incredible. Since then, a few adventurous players followed in Burnsy's footsteps, traveling through his tunnel to the world border themselves. But for the longest time, I decided not to. I just didn't see the point of sitting at my computer for over 30 hours just to find myself at a blue striped wall. I simply saw it as a waste of time. However, that was just my original thought. How was I to know that something was pointless and a waste of time if I never even attempted it myself? And that's when my curiosity kicked in. I wanted to know if it's worth it to take the 3.75 million block journey to the overworld border of 2b2t. So today, we're gonna find the answer to this question together. Getting to the world border on 2b2t is by no means a fast and easy trip. If you sprint jumped there in a straight line, it would take around 146 hours. So I needed to find a better way. I first thought about using a horse to get there, but even with the tiny speed increase from entity speed, it wouldn't be that much help. Plus, finding a horse already in the Nether would be quite a chore, as Housemaster disabled the movement of entities through portals. For a while, these were thought to be my only options, as Boatfly and Elytrafly were also patched. Or so I thought. A new Elytrafly hack was discovered on 2b2t, and I got exclusive access to it. When testing it out, I got a top speed of 142 kilometers per hour. If I traveled at that speed non-stop, it would only take 26.4 hours to reach the world border. This was certainly many times better than sprint jumping, and that's when I knew that this was my chance to finally travel to the world border on 2b2t. The journey started at the overworld spawn region. I found an ender chest, got my gear, and started traveling the overworld Positive X highway. I wanted to get at least a few hundred blocks away from 0-0 in the Nether, just to avoid any player confrontations. After a few minutes of flying in the overworld, I found a portal, went through it, and I spawned right on the Positive X highway. Perfect. Now all I had to do was get my Elytrafly going, and I was finally on my way. Until the server suddenly lagged everyone offline. Typical 2b2t. But a few hours later, it was back up and I was on my way yet again. The first part of the journey was pretty bumpy. The highway was littered with blocks and withers. Funny enough, the blocks actually slowed me down more than the withers. And no later did I find my first player. He drank a speed potion of all things and started running. Yeah, I don't think that helped. I eventually caught up to him, dropped some gapples, and moved on. As far as I knew at the time, this obsidian highway goes on for at least 100,000 blocks in the Nether, and is mostly maintained by the Highway Workers Union, which recently replaced the IIS. Those random end crystals that are on the highway are actually traps for players who have auto crystal turned on. So if you're going down a highway, make sure you turn that off. At last, I got to 100,000 blocks out. Going through the portal, I found the remains of a mob grinder and this surprisingly intact farm. While I was there, I also decided to set my bed in this nearby cave. It's really important that I do this regularly on my journey, just in case I somehow get killed. Now back to the Nether I go. It seems like the Obsidian Highway has actually been expanded over 100,000 blocks out. I wonder how far it goes. I flew 100,000 more blocks and the highway was still obsidian. 300k out? Still obsidian. This is just nuts. As I kept going further out, I started to notice these little grass patches on the side of the highway. These are actually remnants from when pig spawners were a thing on the server. Pigs would only spawn from them if there was grass blocks nearby. Players would then use the pigs with the combination of entity speed to travel at insane speeds. But unfortunately, both pig spawners and entity speed were patched long ago, and these grass blocks are what remains. I kept flying further out, and the highway started becoming incredibly barren. Normally there's tons of tunnels branching off from the main highway, but out here, there's next to none. But eventually, I got to the 1 million nether milestone. And this is it. Yeah, so this is the 1 million milestone. No signs though. And down here, yeah, this is the remnants of the old 1 million milestone, and I'll do a before and after picture here on screen. I went into the overworld just to check it out. A lot of Burnsy's original builds have been griefed, and this is certainly no exception. But there was also this huge IIS logo. I guess they were the ones responsible for making the Obsidian Highway this far out. So I went back to the Nether, and not much later did the Obsidian Highway finally end. Whoa, wait, this is it. This is the end of the Obby Tunnel. Yeah, I guess this is just where they stopped. This was a lot longer than what I originally thought, but I mean, geez, 1 million blocks in the Nether of Obby. That is just insane. I'm just gonna leave a sign here. Being this far out, I started seeing some odd stuff on the highway, like this door to nowhere. Strange stuff. As I was flying, I was going through Burnsy's photo album of his journey to the world border. One of the pictures was of a chicken on a tree, so I just couldn't help myself but to see if it was still there after all this time. Where did this spawn us? Alright. And if that chicken is still there... No! Oh no! Someone removed the exact block that chicken was on. What a shame. Are there any other chickens in the area? I don't think there are. Wow. Oh, there's a chicken down there though. Maybe that was the chicken. I guess we'll never know. So, I moved on, until I got to these coordinates. It doesn't look like anything would be here at first, but if you've been playing Minecraft for a while, you'll know that these are coordinates to what would be the Farlands. That bug from the game was patched in late 2011, so it doesn't exist, at least at this location. After traveling a bit further, I stopped at a strange chunk error. Apparently, this exists as a remnant to a teleportation exploit performed way back in the day on 2b2t. Other than that, there's not much known about it. Just a few hundred more blocks and we're gonna be at the halfway milestone. Oh, here it is! Oh my gosh! I can't believe this place is still intact. Let's jump down here. Oh gosh. Welcome to the MC Ren Highway Landmark. 15k, halfway there. Yep, this highway, this landmark was certainly created by whoever this guy is. I guess this dude just spammed all of these signs here. Comparing this to Burnsy's screenshot, this looks almost exactly the same, with the exception of a few extra signs and some extra blocks. Oh man. Yeah, the halfway milestone looks pretty darn griefed at first sight. And oh, that's a wither. Oh no. Here, I'm just gonna fly up here, just to get away from that thing. Whoa, what is that? Are those all buttons? Yeah, someone just straight up just spammed buttons all over the ground here. They look like perfectly placed stones. Only on 2b2t will you see the Valley of Buttons. Yeah, it is a shame that a lot of this did get griefed, but I mean, that's just what happens on 2b2t. And here we go. Just as Burnsy said, the second half begins. As I kept flying, I passed by many small milestones built by Burnsy and the rest of the diggers. Now, a lot of these milestones have changed a lot over the years, so this milestone in particular was covered with obsidian, but if you actually look underneath it, you can see some remnants of the old milestone. But over the years, they just got more griefed and I guess just covered over. And here's a before and after picture just to get a glimpse of it. We are getting so close to 1/3 of the way there. And this is it. Not much of a milestone. Let's go through the portal here, see what's on the other side. Whoa. Oh, look at this. It's all half slabs. You know what? It's the Valley of Slabs. Look at the trees. They're made out of stone bricks. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, there's some signs over here. Let's take a look at this. Wow. We got signs going all the way back to 2017. Nomad Hut. Gamers only. Alright, back to the Nether. We still got a long way to go. Alright. We are approaching 22,222,222. Wow. Look at this place. Now, before all of this existed, there actually used to be this annoying redstone machine, but I'm sure that was quickly destroyed and replaced with this, which is a lot better in my opinion. Alright, back to the grind. Yep, we are coming up to the 3 million nether milestone. I've heard this one should be pretty cool. Oh, here we are. And oh, it's not looking too good. Oh man, what a shame. With a lot of these milestones we've been seeing so far, this one is not looking much better. Well, I'll put up a picture of what this used to look like, but it was something that was really amazing at one point. Yeah, here in the overworld, the sign is still here. Somewhat intact. Most of the other stuff seems to be gone. Let me just free cam, just to take a look here. Yeah, really nothing too much here, unfortunately. So, it's back to the nether. After this point, I realized I was getting very close to the overworld border. So, I decided for the final leg of the journey, I would stream it live on my YouTube channel. And surely enough, I finally arrived. Going through any of these portals will take me to the overworld border. I had to walk just around 100 more blocks, and there it was. The overworld border of 2b2t, 30 million blocks out. Seeing this for the first time, in person, was a surreal experience. After over 30 hours of sitting at my computer, I finally got what I deserved. Looking closer at the border, I found many names of players who also made the journey out here. Apparently how they were able to place blocks outside of the border goes something like this. You place blocks in the shape of what you want just inside the border. Then you use a boat to glitch yourself through the border and just place blocks beside the ones you already placed. So after experimenting a bit, I decided to leave my mark. And there it was. It's small, but it works. Traveling to the world border was quite the experience. It was very tedious, but I got to see a lot of really cool history along the way. So, was it worth it? Well, for making this video, yeah. But if you were just doing this casually, it depends. It takes forever to get out here, which can be a huge turnoff for most players. But once you're here, you could leave your mark, brag about it to your friends, and then you could always backtrack a bit and build a base in the tens of millions of blocks out, which would make it extremely secure. That's one of the most useful reasons I could think of for traveling this far out, but if you can think of anything else, let me know. Now, before I end off this video here, I want to answer one more question I've always had. How far does the Nether Highway go past the overworld border? There's really no practical reason to go further in the Nether, because if you make a portal past 3.75 million blocks, it will just spawn the portal back near the overworld border. But I wanted to find out anyways. So I started traveling yet again, and was immediately greeted with these very discouraging signs. No later did the 2x3 tunnel end, and I had to go the rest of the journey by foot. It looks like the tunnel used to end here, but was since expanded. So I traveled 25,000 more blocks in the Nether, and I got to this milestone. This sign pretty much says it all. A road to nowhere. I then traveled 25,000 more blocks, and the tunnel kept going. So I unfortunately decided to end it off here. I don't know how far it goes, but I can say that it goes at least 50k out from the world border. Maybe someone a little more dedicated than me can find the answer to this. But for now, I guess this is the end of the line for me. There's really nothing else I can do other than head back to spawn. Oh, I forgot I said a bed. Alright, take two. And there we go. Man, it feels like I haven't seen this place in ages.